episode 1 of the Baby Names podcast. I'm Jennifer Moss, here with my co-host and sister, Mallory Moss Katz.
Hey, hey, hey.
We are the creators of the website babynames.com, which has been online for almost 22 years now. Mal, can you believe it's been that long?
I know. It seems like it was just yesterday when we were researching all those names and meanings. My baby Veronica was just behind me in the crib, who, by the way, is about ready to graduate from college.
I know. That's like a whole person's life.
It was a whole person's life.
It was. So I'm going to give our listeners a little background on our format about our new show. Because this is our first episode, we're going to start by talking about our own names. Then we're going to go with our weekly topic, and this week it's names from the Winter Olympics. And then we're going to go over names in the news. And you guys, there are some good ones this week and some bad ones too. We're going to wrap up with baby names advice from us, your baby names experts. So keep listening to find out how you can write in and get name advice for your new baby. But be warned, we are gonna be honest. Right, Mal?
Mm-hmm. You betcha. No holds barred.
No holds barred. So let's start with our own names. Like, Mom thought that she was being so unique when she named me Jennifer, and I came in just a couple years ahead of the curve. Jennifer was propelled to the #1 spot and stayed there for a decade because of the book and the movie Love Story, where the main character was Jenny and Jennifer. And so she was a little disappointed when that happened. And then when you came along, she chose the name Mallory. And Mal, do you know the background on your name?
Yeah, I got my name a few years before I was born. Mom heard a celebrity, Sherry Lewis, a puppeteer, had named her daughter Mallory and had decided that she would name her next daughter that if she had ever had another daughter. She did, and voila, I got my name. I was always the most uniquely named kid in school, and then came Family Ties.
Family Ties!
And here was a show about a high schooler named Mallory with a sister named Jennifer, no less. I won't even go into how there were other connections with names. Nick, Andy, Elise, Alex. It was like the writers knew our family or something.
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, I remember when the show was coming on to the air. It hadn't even launched yet. I believe it started in 1982. And it just floored us that there were sisters named Jennifer and Mallory, because Mallory was a completely unique name at the time. Like, you never had anyone in your class with the same name, did you? Or even your school?
Never. And you couldn't find a toothbrush at the gas station with the name Mallory. Nothing.
But then Family Ties came out, and we thought that was really cool that suddenly there were sisters named Jennifer and Mallory. And yes, as Mal said, we had a Nick and an Andy. And if my daughter had been a boy, I had to go with it. I was going to name her Alex, for real.
Well, you know, there's actually 2 Jennifer Mosses in our family.
Yes, there are. When I was about 12 years old, my aunt, who was actually named Fern at birth, always hated her name and hated it more when she married my uncle, whose last name was Moss. So she was Fern Moss, which she said was too leafy for her. So she decided to change her name, and she changed her name legally to Jennifer. So as a 12-year-old, that really confused me, because now we had 2 Jennifer Mosses in the family. And she didn't even ask me, just went and changed her name.
Who'd ask a 12-year-old?
That's true. Like, it was her name. She got to do whatever she wanted. And it's funny because as an adult, I brought it up with her. And I said, you know that time when you took my name and then there were 2 Jennifer Mosses in the family? Yeah, you didn't even consult me. And she goes, well, I didn't even think about consulting you. So I thought that was really funny. We had a laugh about it. And since then, she divorced my uncle and she went back to a modified version of her maiden name. So she is no longer Jennifer Moss. And that was just fine with me. In fact, it was funny because I showed up at her work once and asked for her. And I was like, is Jennifer Moss here? And they said, yes. Who's calling? And I said, Jennifer Moss. And they thought I was being a smartass, and they're like, no, what is your name? And I said, Jennifer Moss. And the receptionist was really kind of confused. So yeah, don't change your name to a name that's already in your own family. That's my advice.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes.
This has to do kind of similar thing. Sometimes there are people in the same family, like aunts, cousins, that are pregnant at the same time, and they tend to have a fight over who gets the name of, say, a grandfather, or they both happen to like the name Annabelle or something like that. What do you think? Do you think they should both be able to name the family member or the baby the same name? Or do you think one gets precedence over the other? What is your opinion on that?
That's a good question, and we get this all the time, especially, in the kind of arena of name sniping where one person has already thought to use a name and somebody else in the family or in the neighborhood or a friend decides, oh, I like that name too, I'm going to use it. I think the person who thought of the name first, or who's pregnant first, who's going to have the baby first, gets precedence over the name that they're going to use. I also don't think it's too terrible if the kids are not going to be in the same community or in the same school to give them the same name, especially if they have different last names. But if they have the same first name and the same last name within the family, I'd say that's a little too confusing.
Yeah, but, how do you prove you were pregnant first? I mean, maybe,
I think there's ways to do that nowadays.
All right. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a pretty tricky situation.
So let's talk about our topic of the week, Olympic names.
Yeah.
And you are kind of a Winter Olympic fanatic, so you can take this topic.
I will, and I will be delighted to do so. I am so excited about the Winter Olympics. But first, we're going to talk about some of the Olympians of the past. What we see is that Olympic athletes, or athletes in general, can really influence the names of babies in the future. So we have, say, Apollo Ono, whose name in 2012 had barely broken into the top 1,000 names according to Social Security. And it was number 985, and it nearly doubled in the next few years to reach number 584 in 2016.
Wow.
And I will have to let you know that Apollo Ono, even though it's spelled differently, Ono means delicious in Hawaiian. And boy, oh boy, is Apollo Ono delicious.
He is delicious. And wasn't he also on Dancing with the Stars?
He just might have been.
So he was all over the place, not only as an athlete, but as a dancer. And he was, kind of very high up in the TV media. So yes, definitely had an influence. If the name rises that quickly on the charts, then there was definitely an influence by some kind of celebrity or character.
In 2002, I was at the Salt Lake City Olympics, and I remember him skating around that arena, and it was so exciting I nearly plotzed. He was just so amazing. Now, it can have the opposite effect on names, though, too. When we had Tanya Harding in the 1992 Olympics, the name Tanya was actually number 45, so high up in the name rankings. And by 1994, of course, after all of the hullabaloo with Nancy Kerrigan, it was at number 746. And by the late 90s, it was down to 906. And that drama really affected the name popularity. Jennifer, do you see that happening with other controversial names?
Yeah, definitely. Even around the same time, the name Monica was gaining popularity because of the TV show Friends. The character Monica was, very well liked. And then came the Clinton scandal with Monica Lewinsky. Mm-hmm. And as soon as that came out, the baby name just dropped off the charts because it had a kind of a negative connotation. Now, I'm not saying anything about Miss Lewinsky, but it was, her name almost became a joke. It did become a joke within the U.S. and the world. So definitely a celebrity or a person who is infamous can have a negative effect on baby names.
Absolutely. And I would say Tanya Harding, Monica Lewinsky, two people who certainly became infamous. Although I've seen Monica Lewinsky on a couple of talk shows, and she certainly is pretty funny. I will tell you that.
I read her biography, and it was amazing. And after I got finished with that book, I had really mad respect for the woman to have lived through that. And she was basically just used as a pawn. So that's my little political input for the day.
Okay. See, we get political, but not too political.
Not too political.
All right. But let's look at the athletes for this Winter Olympics. My guess is that we're going to see a jump in popularity for these names as we have taken gold in their sports. So we have Chloe Kim, women's snowboard halfpipe. She is the youngest woman snowboarder to win Olympic gold.
Amazing.
I know. She is so amazing, and she is so cool, too. I don't know what it is about the snowboarders, but we also have Red Gerard, or Redmond. Few people know that his name is actually Redmond, and he won the men's snowboard slopestyle.
Does Redmond have red hair?
It's kind of a reddish blonde, yes, absolutely. And I would like to say and plug my home state. Well, not my home state, that's Illinois, because we are from Chicago. Where I live now is Colorado, and Red Gerard is from Silverthorne, Colorado. Yay! And I love Silverthorne not only for its great shops and for its great restaurants, but it's also known for having a great outlet mall. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we love those outlet malls.
But the best thing about the Winter Olympics, if you are Mallory Moss Katz, are the figure skaters.
Yep, I know you love that.
And we have the ladies coming up this week. Two women to watch out for include Brady Tennell and Mirai Nagasu. Even though they both won bronze medals so far for the figure skating team competition, they have a chance to medal individually. And I want to just comment on both of these first names because they could become much more popular. Brady is spelled with an I-E, which I think is cute twist. Mirai means the future in Japanese, and that's no joke. She just became the first American woman to perform the triple axel at the Olympics.
Ooh, so she is the future of figure skating.
She is. And let me tell you one more thing. We've got a few more names that I love. We have Mame Baini, short track speed skating. She came from Ghana at age 5. And Kamani Griffin, speed skating. Torin Yater, Wallace, freestyle skiing. That's it for the Olympics. Oh, but we can't forget Peekaboo Street.
Peekaboo.
She got her name. She's a skier from back in the day. Well, not back in the old days, but the 90s, I think? Maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. And she literally got her name because she loved to play peekaboo. It's spelled Picabo, but her name never made it to the top 1,000s, alas.
No. Before we head into the celebrity names in the news, I want to do a little plug for our site, babynames.com. Baby Names was the first website online with a full database of ethnically diverse names and meanings. You can create a favorite name list, have friends and family vote on that list, or chat with other name enthusiasts on the Baby Names message boards. You don't even have to be expecting. Check out the site and look up the meaning of your name and the names of all your family and friends. I guarantee you'll be surprised.
Where else are you going to find the best way to name your new baby, or even if you're looking for a new name for yourself? Come on, you never know.
You never know. Okay, now, that's my little names in the news. jingle. We're back with the Jenner Kardashians with their babies. Kylie Jenner just named her daughter Stormi with an I. What do you think about that?
With an I don't know. First of all, I am never a fan of naming babies with I at the end. Sorry, all you Brandies with an I. I apologize, but I just don't like it. Maybe because my name is Mallory and some people named their babies with Mallory with an I at the end. But I just always want to pronounce it Mallory or Stormi, not Stormy.
Well, I know that Mom kind of put that into our heads. She would always say, oh, Stormi with an I, and does it have a heart over it? So, she had a strong opinion about names that ended with I. I also don't like common names that are spelled with alternate or creative spellings because the kid is kind of destined to spell it for people their entire life. So poor Stormi is going to go around saying Stormi with an I instead of just Stormi.
But I guess the point is she's going to be so famous. She is Kylie Jenner's daughter. How many followers does she have on Instagram?
Oh, she's like the 6th most followed person on Instagram. I don't know how many followers.
So all I'm saying is maybe Stormi with an I will already be visible and everyone will know how to spell her name. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the name Stormi, that's for sure. Hey, didn't her sister or someone else name a baby Chicago or something?
Yes, Kim and Kanye just had a daughter, named her Chicago, which I actually love. I mean, for obvious reasons, because we're from the town and I love the town, and I have a series of novels that are based in Chicago, plug. But I just think Chicago West sounds great, and it follows my first rule of baby naming, which is make it easy to spell and easy to pronounce. Place names are always a safe bet if it's not too far out, like Paris or Denver or Dallas, because people already know how to pronounce and spell them.
I've never been a fan. I think it's terrible, the name Chicago.
What?
Although I'm sorry, it's how I feel. I'm from Chicago. I love Chicago. I think it's one of the greatest cities on earth. I wish I were there right now, honestly. But what I don't like is naming your baby Chicago. Although I do think the nickname Shy is kind of cute.
That is cute. So some other celebs that are in the news this week, Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame and Vanessa Nadal had a son and named him Francisco. And that's a great name. It's a great classic name. Frankie, they could call him. And he joins older brother Sebastian, who is 3. Those are both wonderful names. And kudos to Lin-Manuel. Do you want to take Michael Phelps?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And, to bring it all back to Olympic gold medalists, we can look at Michael Phelps and wife Nicole Johnson. They named their son Beckett. I like Beckett.
Yeah.
Joining older brother Boomer, don't like Boomer, who turned 2. Let me take it back a second. I'm sure baby Boomer is a wonderful little boy. I don't like the name Boomer. For, again, what we have to talk about is it's a cute nickname, but it's not an adult name. When you're going to be 25, your name is Boomer Phelps. Yeah, maybe you're going to be an athlete, but what if you want to be a businessman? What if you want to be an accountant? Your name is Boomer Phelps? CPA? I don't know. I don't think it works.
I agree. If you want to give your child a nickname, at least give them the choice of having a sophisticated given name, and then you can call him Boomer until he grows out of it. But don't give him a given name that is a nickname where he doesn't have a choice.
I agree.
And last but not least, TV personality and musician Adam Levine and Behati Prinsloo welcomed a baby girl and named her Geo Grace Levine. Geo joins older sister Dusty Rose, whose name was actually chosen by Ellen DeGeneres. And I think Ellen did a little bit of a better job than Adam and Behati, because I'm not quite sure about Geo. I mean, I guess, again, that could be a nickname for Georgia, or short for geographic, but Geo
Not
Grace.
geographic.
It's short for geographic. It's a word, geo, but
Yes.
I'm not quite sure it fits as a girl's name. What do you think?
Is it supposed to be Joe, like short for George?
I don't think so. I think it's Geo Grace.
Geo Grace. Okay, you know what? To be honest, and I'm supposed to be bad cop here, I don't like Geo Grace. I like Grace. I don't like Geo Grace. Again, I think celebrities want to be different. They want to make the top 10 terrible baby names list on the news.
They want to be trending is what they want.
They want to be trending, exactly. But Geo Grace is just kind of a weird name. You know, I like Adam Levine, and boy, is Bahati Prinsloo gorgeous. Have you ever seen her?
Yes,
Be
she is.
still anyone's heart.
Yes.
But that is one dumb baby name.
Oh, you're so mean. I don't think it's that bad.
Sorry, Charlie. I do.
All our listeners, write in and tell us if you like Geo Grace. Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down? You can always get a hold of us at podcast@babynames.com. All right, so now our final segment is Q&A. If you have a question for the Baby Names experts, email us at podcast@babynames.com. So a couple days ago, I got one from Araya C. She says, hello, I've scanned this website and others for a long time, and my name isn't in your database. My name is Araya, and that was spelled Araya. I'm not sure what the origin and meaning of my name are, but I know that there are a few other Arayas in just the United States alone. I've heard many different theories for where my name originated, but nothing concrete. I would love to see my name in your database. So Mal, what do you think off the top of your head about Araya?
You know, I thought about this for a while, and my guess is that it could come from Ariana, and that is Italian for very holy.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought it might also be a variation of Aria, which would kind of have the same root. I've also heard that it could be a variation of the name Ray, the male name Ray. It could be a feminized version of the name. And I have also heard, now this is a kind of corny, but it could mean like a ray of sunshine. So depending on what you put as a middle name, it could be part of a phrase.
Oh, you know what would be neat? Araya Soleil.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I'm telling ya.
I think the place to start, Araya, is to talk to your parents and find out where they heard the name. You know, it's better to ask your parents than to ask me because I'm not psychic and I don't know what they were thinking.
But we will be happy to give advice on names that we like or names that we don't like. If you and your husband or your wife or your partner are at odds, we can tell you who we side with. That is no holds barred opinions.
Definitely. Now, Mal, one of the things that comes up whenever I get interviewed is the question, what is the craziest baby name you've ever heard? And that's a tough one because there are so many out there. So what's yours?
Oh, I cannot stand this one. And I don't know if it's an urban legend or not, but it's the name hashtag. I know. And again, I don't know. Maybe someone was just making it up. I wrote a piece for the Huffington Post a few years back saying never use electronics as an inspiration for your baby's name. You never know when it'll be outdated.
Like Apple?
Like Apple. And I remember when hashtag was a pound sign, and who knows what hashtag is going to be next.
That's a good point. I think I have to stick with my age-old answer of a girl in New Zealand who was named Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii.
That was one name?
That was her complete first name with no spaces. And a judge actually took custody of the child until the parents renamed her, citing that it was psychological abuse.
Well, I think Stormi's psychological abuse.
Well, thanks for joining us. That wraps up our first Baby Names podcast. Don't forget to visit our website, babynames.com. It's not just for the expecting. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/babynames.com with the dot spelled out, D-O-T. Same with Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode. Have feedback about the show? Need name advice? Email us at podcast@babynames.com. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.